There was a time when the World Cup wasn't just a tournament, but a state of emergency. 90 minutes were enough to create careers, send nations into ecstasy, and burn names indelibly into football's collective memory. Stadiums boiled over, defenders lost all formation, and a single moment could make a player seem greater than his entire career. But this stage was also ruthless. It made heroes shine, and then swallowed them without a trace. These are 7 players who exploded at a World Cup, and then seemed like they never existed. And now, let's start with the first name. Top 1, Salvatore Schillaci. 6 goals in 7 games, top scorer of a World Cup, the unexpected face of an entire Italian summer. Salvatore Schillaci entered football's biggest stage in 1990, not as a star, but as a last resort, and left it as a national symbol. Each of his runs seemed like a short circuit in the defensive line's order. Every shot had something inevitable about it, as if the ball was magnetically bound to him. The stadiums trembled with every touch, not because of elegance, but because of that nervous, hungry energy that spoke from every step. Schillaci played as if he only had this one tournament to make up for everything his career hadn't told until then. His game defied classical logic. No great technique, no majestic presence, but an instinct that always brought him where the ball would appear seconds later. Modern tracking data today would speak of explosive first meters, unusually short reaction times, of shots from angles that statistically barely exist. Back then, it felt like he heard the game before it happened. After the final, the atmosphere changed abruptly. The pressure grew faster than his form, expectations suffocated his instinct, and the man who had carried Italy slipped out of the focus of European top-tier football. Today, Schillaci lives mainly in flashbacks, in documentaries, in grainy images of a tournament that feels like a fever. He doesn't stand for consistency, but for a single blazing state of emergency. The World Cup granted him eternity because it was the only moment the world stood still and only saw him. Top 2, Oleg Salenko. 5 goals in a single game, a world record on football's biggest stage. Oleg Salenko made history in 1994 without the world having time to truly get to know him. In that one group stage match, he turned the penalty area into a statistical anomaly. Shots from close range, precise runs between 2 defenders, timing that neutralized every offside trap. It wasn't a fireworks display of dribbling, but a cold efficiency that turned every touch into danger. Salenko played as if he was forcing numbers, not emotions. Every touch a finish, every movement a command to the ball. What made him seem out of time was this mechanical clarity, minimal backswing, maximum yield, decisions in fractions of a second. Modern analyses would speak of an exceptional shooting percentage, optimal runs in the 6-yard box, a body balance that kept shots stable even under contact. But as abruptly as this record came about, it vanished from the spotlight again. The tournament ended, the cameras moved on, and Salenko's career found no second act at that altitude. Today he exists in collective memory as a number on a graph, as a footnote in statistics, as a short clip that is played over and over again. No monument, no long narrative, just that one impossible afternoon. He wasn't a myth of years, but a record of 90 minutes that remains inexplicable to this day. Top 3, James Rodriguez, 6 goals. The Golden Boot, a left foot that suddenly defied gravity. James Rodriguez turned the 2014 World Cup into his personal stage. Every shot seemed prepared. Every touch had that quiet finality, as if the space in front of the penalty area had slowed down for him. The volley goal from the turn became the iconic image of a tournament, a moment that burned in endless loops, accompanied by the collective gasp of an entire stadium. James played with a clarity that is rare. Head up, body open, decisions without hesitation. What made him seem beyond logic was the combination of ball control and finish in a single fluid impulse. Modern evaluations would speak of ideal body angles, exceptional shot precision from the second line, a perception that treated opponents as static obstacles. But after that summer, the picture shifted. Expectations grew faster than the space he needed. Systems became tighter, rhythms harsher. The brilliance remained visible, but it no longer found a lasting resonance. Today, James appears in highlight clips, in flashbacks of a tournament that made his name bigger than any club phase thereafter. He is present, but tied to a summer that never came back. He won the world with one foot and lost it when the moment moved on. Top 4, El Hadji Diouf. 2 weeks were enough to turn him from a talent into every defense's nightmare. El Hadji Diouf led Senegal in 2002 with a carefree attitude that swept the established football powers off their feet. His sprints cut through the wings like blades. His ball control was raw, direct, without respect for names or jerseys. Every tackle felt like a provocation, every surge like a challenge to the order of the game. Diouf played not to please, but to dominate, and that's exactly what made him so dangerous on this stage. What set him apart from his time was this explosive mix of body control and aggression when moving forward. Tracking models today would speak of unusually high acceleration values, changes of direction without loss of speed, a presence that destabilized defensive structures. But after the tournament, the friction began. Expectations clashed with systems that left no room for unpredictability, and the stage on which his energy had carried him shrank. His name remained known, but his aura dissipated. Today, Diouf appears in flashbacks to that sensational tournament, in images of a summer that stirred Africa and surprised Europe. He is a memory of a state of emergency, not of continuity. He burned brighter than the order and fizzled out as soon as the game tried to tame him. Top 5, Tomasz Skuhravy. 5 goals, including a hat trick in the quarterfinals, a body seemingly carved from stone. Tomasz Skuhravy transformed the 1990 World Cup into a demonstration of physical power. Every high ball became an invitation for him, every challenge a pre-decision. He didn't jump, he exploded into the air, fought off 2 defenders, and sent the ball crashing in with a force that made even perfectly positioned goalkeepers seem helpless. Skuhravy played with a directness that knew no detours. Cross, header, goal. What set him apart from the logic of that era was the combination of timing and raw strength. Modern analyses would speak of maximum jumping height, ideal approach angles, a neck and core stability that guaranteed heading precision even under contact. Back then, it felt like gravity was on his side. But after this tournament, the attention faded faster than it had arrived. Injuries, breaks in rhythm, a playing style that got less space. The man who dominated defenses slipped out of the center of the big narrative. Today, Skuhravy appears in archive footage, in slow-motion replays of crosses and powerful goals, as a reminder of a summer when aerial duels decided games. He won games in the sky and disappeared when the ground took over football. Top 6, Roger Milla. 4 goals, 2 of them in the knockout stage, and a celebration that went around the world. Roger Milla made the 1990 World Cup an event beyond age, expectation, and football logic. He didn't move with the haste of the younger players, but with a calmness that opened up spaces before they became visible. Every run seemed delayed, and yet was exactly right. In the penalty area, a half-turn, a quick touch was enough, and the ball was in the net. Milla played as if he had slowed down time, as if he wasn't outrunning defenders, but outthinking them. What set him apart was this rare combination of experience and lightness. Modern models would speak of perfect timing, exceptional decision-making quality in tight zones, an efficiency that wasted no effort. But the brilliance of that summer could not be preserved. After the tournament, the image, the goals, the dance, the euphoria, remained stronger than any subsequent sporting stage. Today, Roger Milla lives on in stadium chants, in flashbacks, in those seconds when football was pure joy. He is less a continuous career than a symbol for a moment when anything seemed possible. He proved that a moment can be greater than any chronology. Top 7, Paolo Rossi. 6 goals, a hat trick in the semifinal, 2 goals in the final. Paolo Rossi turned the 1982 World Cup into a story that should no longer have existed. He came into this tournament as a question mark, as a player without rhythm, without form, almost without confidence. And then he started scoring, not spectacularly, not powerfully, but with a deadly simplicity that exposed defenses. Rossi appeared where no one expected him, broke free at the decisive moment, touched the ball, and disappeared from the picture again as the net trembled. What made him seem beyond logic was his spatial awareness. Modern analyses would speak of perfect runs, minimal movements with maximum effect, a striker who didn't beat defenders but outwitted them. But this explosion remained tied to that summer. The world remembered Rossi as Italy's savior, as the face of a triumph, less of what followed. Today, his name stands for this tournament, for these games, for these goals. He lives on in replays, in narratives, in a myth condensed into a few weeks. He returned when no one expected it, and became immortal because he disappeared right there again. They emerged when the whole world was watching, burned brighter than their own careers could ever sustain, and disappeared again as soon as the tournament ended. These players remind us that the World Cup is not a fair judge, but a blinding light that overshadows everything for a moment and then mercilessly moves on. Some careers are measured in years, others in a few games. If these stories touched you, stay here. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and write in the comments which name you think should never have been forgotten.